Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Prospector Radio. I'm your host, Tim Grimes, and joining me tonight, we got an old friend stopping in again to see us. Our good friend, Mr. Jeff Williams and Nevada Jack are here. How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing just fine.
Yeah, we're tearing it up. Yee-hoo!
I just need to know real quick, what's the weather like out there tonight, guys? Or today?
A little overcast, I think.
Yeah, it's a little overcast. It's kind of cool out. About 65 right now.
Okay, I can handle that. That's
good prospecting weather.
Oh, yeah. So what's been going on with you two?
Oh, man. You should ask what has not been going on with us.
Okay, what has not been going on with you two?
Well, Nevada Jack, he's been robbing trades like nobody's business.
Uh-huh.
He's been busier than a one-armed man hanging wallpaper in a sandstorm.
I like that one.
Yeah. And, of course, me, I've been trying to open up new mines left and right to find shiny, hard rock and placer, and making more videos. And we're trying to get around the country to see more and to talk to more people about how gold is deposited and where to look and hands-on experiences. And so, yeah, we've basically got all of our irons in the fire.
Oh, yeah, you've been really busy. So where have you been to lately? What parts of the country you've been going to?
We've been up around where the Nevada-Idaho border is, up around Oregon, Northern California, down in Arizona, all the way down to around Bisbee. Been down there a lot.
I like Bisbee.
Yeah, I like Bisbee too.
Yeah.
And down around Yuma, areas like that, and we're trying to make our way to the Midwest now. We actually, when we were in Colorado too, remember that?
Right.
Oh, man.
So looking at some of the telluride deposits that are up there.
Okay.
So, and we got our eyes on Montana next. There's nice gold deposits up there.
Wow, you've been busy. You've definitely been busy. So you've been opening up a lot of new mines, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Some of them are private, and some of them, of course, are for tours that we're going to be hosting.
Oh, okay.
So I want people to get the full experience. So it's kind of tricky because everything is claimed up. So you have to know a secret spot. You have to know the area, or you have to have somebody on the inside to give you a little leverage to where so you don't step on anybody's toes.
Sure.
And I want to do the hard rock, and I want to do the placer. I want everybody to get the full experience.
Well, yeah.
And I'm trying to open it up to where we can do large scale too, kind of like what you see on Gold Rush, Alaska.
Really?
Because I want them to get the big experience, not just the small scale, but I want them to operate equipment. I want them to work full-size trommels, the whole kit and caboodle.
Oh, that would be too cool.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
and of course, I don't know if you know this. I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine, Jeff.
And of course, the biggest one that everybody wants to do, and if you got an ear to the ground, you already know this, but we're also going to be starting dredging too.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Now,
yep.
How do you?
There's little birdie told me something, and he told me to be ready in May. So we're going to be ready in May.
Oh, man. Now, how do people get involved in this with you? Like if they want to
go on these... They just sign up as a premium patron, and they're allowed to come out. That's all they got to do.
That's it. That's
it.
That's simple. Interesting.
Well, in a nutshell, I mean, that's the first step on the road. How's that?
Okay, that's better. I was going to say, man, no, that's too easy. No, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the first step. It gets you in the door. I'll put it that way.
All right. I like that. So how many different mines can these people go to? I mean, how many of them are you doing the tours of? Put it that way.
Right now, we just got a Slim's Pickens number 5. Got 5 mines to choose from, and 3 are placer and 2 are hard rock. Sorry.
Oh man, cool. See,
so
cool.
I really like the hard rock ones. We put a lot of time and effort into refurbishing them, getting them back online, making them safe. Because man, I tell you, when we got our hands on them, oh, they were an in-shot nightmare. I tell you what.
Kind of missed.
Yeah, it was messy. You remember that one where we had to dig our way in? Remember that, Jack?
Everything had gone in before you.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I had to squeeze in.
Yep.
Jeez.
So,
and you,
yeah, it took that one took what, maybe a solid month of mucking out the portal?
Yeah, just get all the crap out.
Yeah, so you get in the attic. So.
oh, man. So when you get these mines, Jeff, you go in there alone or to check them out? Because I know you're...
No, we got a full crew.
Oh, you do? Okay.
We usually use 4 gas meters when we get in there to make sure there's no pockets of unwanted gases floating around in there, because some of them have been sealed up forever.
Wow.
We got a full crew. We got 3 to go in with me, and then 2 that wait outside.
Okay.
Then we go and we check the stability of the rock, the stability of the shoring, if there's any. Check for artifacts, document everything first.
Right.
And then check the deposits to make sure that they're still good, and that there's a reserve in there too. Because last thing you want to do is you start chipping away at a deposit and it pinches out, because the deposits are known to swell and pinch, and if you're on the pinched end, that ain't no good, is it?
That's the end of the show.
That's why ghost towns are formed.
Oh, so what's that mean, Jeff? The pinched end.
Oh, pinch and swell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a common term used in mining, hard rock. And so you've got gold deposition. If it's in any type of a bedding vein, it can swell out, and then all of a sudden it can start getting narrower and narrower, and then it'll get real skinny down to like a little veinlet, and then it'll pinch out into nothing.
Oh, geez.
And then that's the end of the vein.
Oh,
You're
man.
done.
And then the mine is done. And so what a lot of guys will do is they'll drill and blast, and they'll go another 6 feet just to make sure. Or if it's a big mine, they'll bring in a drilling crew, and they'll actually do core sampling, sometimes 15, 30 feet into the rock to see if there's any parallel veins in the vicinity, or if the vein picks up again and swells out again.
Okay, cool. Now, what made you decide that you want to start doing a big operation like that's on Gold Rush?
Oh, because I thought that would be the coolest thing for people to actually get up there and know what it's like to operate heavy equipment. Of course, they have to have a 2-day training class to get up on there.
Okay.
And just to know what it's like to run excavators and the trommel and the wash plant and to see some serious monster gold. I mean, some of the cleanups that you get on these commercial operations, oh my God. Once you see that, you don't want anything below 100 ounces anymore.
God, yeah. That would ruin us, you know.
Cool.
Definitely. But that would be fun.
That's 25 ounces, that's all you got? Get out of here.
Gotta have more.
That would be fun, though. Now, that would be an experience to get to drive the equipment and do the whole everything. That would be fun. It's worth the 2-day course, you know.
Yeah.
They
got to be trained on all the equipment first because, well, if you know as well as I do, is OSHA's a little bit stiff about that. MSHA too.
Oh, sure. Of course they would be. You know, it's like, God, but that would be the experience, because how many people watch it and go, man, I'd like to try that. So,
yeah, imagine being trained on a D9.
Oh my God.
Or a Cat 306, and you get up
That'd
in there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Or
yeah.
Shad, what's your
favorite
favorite
truck? And then work in the wash plant, and then at the end of the, 3 days of mining, and then pull the screens out and check your mats.
That would
do a serious cleanup.
You really have some gold.
Yeah. They're not talking grams, you're talking pounds.
Oh my God. That's the dream. That's living the dream right there, Jeff.
That right there, I know.
I'm telling you, brother, that is it. God. Man.
Our story.
I'm telling you, see, you ever going to get down this way to Indiana, Ohio, these kind of places?
He better.
We're working our way over there because I want to show people what glacial gold is all about.
Okay.
So, and what to look for, and the different types of indicators as far as where the glaciers were at, what different type of ice maps you should be using as your overlays, how to check your lateral moraines and your terminal moraines, the outwash that comes from those, the rivers that actually cut through those and that are redepositing, reconcentrating those gold deposits, the really super fine gold.
Right.
Just the certain telltale signs that they should be looking for.
Sure.
Because I get a lot of questions about that. What do I look for if I'm living out in an area that was predominantly glacial gold? Where did the gold come from? How did it get deposited? How do I find it? What do I look for?
Right.
So I get a lot of those from not only mid-state but back east too.
God, yeah.
So I mean, I've covered a lot of western states, and the orogenic hosted gold deposits out here is pretty straightforward. And you got epithermal, which is mostly Nevada. That's all volcanic hosted gold deposits.
Mm-hmm.
I've covered that in great depth. So
Right.
I figured, well, next would be glacial.
It's spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, up north in the Archean greenstone belts up there, the contact zones, I want to cover that too, which is up there in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Man, Jeff.
So a lot of people aren't familiar with the Archean greenstone hosted deposits, and I want them to
No.
understand what to look for.
See?
If you happen to know what you're looking for, you can be standing on a huge reserve.
Right.
You can either mine it yourself if it's high grade enough, or you can turn around after you claim it and sell it, and then make money doing that.
Sure. Man. So are you doing any more like public appearances anywhere to where people can come and listen to you and stuff like you used to do?
We're trying to find a local spot that we can do. We got a couple ideas for 2019 where we're going to pre-announce it and say, look, this is where we're going to be. We're going to give you, a couple months in advance so you can pre-schedule it.
Right.
And we're just going to be hanging out there. If you want us to sign the book, or if you want to take pictures, or if you got questions, we'll be there for about 2 or 3 days. So we're trying to incorporate that in 2019 because I want to get back out there, but I know that not everybody has the luxury of coming to where we're at.
Right.
So I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if we could go to different places around the country to do this?
It
So
would be.
we're gonna give it a shot and see how much of a turnout we get.
Okay.
And if it turns out well, then we're gonna keep doing it.
Right. I would think it would turn out well for you.
I hope so.
Is Jack going to be there with you?
Yeah, he'll be here.
Well,
I'll drag him away from his train.
You know it'll be a good turnout then.
He's a drag of train and all.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
So
it.
I figured the first place we're gonna probably do is Virginia City.
Okay.
We're gonna head up there. It's fitting. I've always loved that area. And then we'll probably be in one of the hotels, and we'll be there for 2-3 days, just hanging out, so people can come by and say hi, and maybe I'll give a lecture or something. I don't know.
Right.
Still
no.
playing it by ear.
Right, that would be great. I think it would be nice to have that out there for people,
That'd be cool.
That'd be
I
good.
like that.
I like
would.
Virginia City.
So
Yeah, and if you travel around and do that, that would be awesome. I'm sure
Yeah.
you would get a good turnout, and it would be worth your while. The people that would come to see you guys, you got a huge following, Jeff. You know that. It's like,
I don't know. I don't know nothing.
oh, yeah.
All I know is water's wet and fire burns.
I hope so.
So it'd be cool, and we'd like to see you get up this way. That
Yeah, I know, right? And then maybe head up a little north. I want to make it up to do another one up around Liberty in Washington. I've really always been interested about that, the drift mines they got up there in Liberty, and some of the monster gold that's been coming out of that area. Of course, I love southwestern Oregon. They've got that supergene gold up there. It's beautiful. So,
Gotcha.
and we've been up to Sweet Home before, up there where the White's factory's at.
right.
So it's just beautiful country up there. And
Really beautiful country.
yeah, nice gold depositions up there too.
See, how do you find time to research all this stuff?
I don't ever sleep, son of Jim.
24/7.
I know. You ask anybody, I'm burning that midnight oil. 24/7, trying to
Oh,
figure
my
out where
God.
all this stuff is at, talking to people and
Yeah.
calling up the locals. And
It's a big country with lots of maps.
I know,
lots of
right?
lines.
I got Nevada Jack keeping me awake with his special coffee.
Any plans for coming to Ohio?
Yeah, actually, we plan on making it back that way too. We go to New York all the time, so I figured it's nothing.
Right. If you
Ohio's
come to
got
New
gold.
It's a stop off on the train.
York, that's
Yeah.
right. You got to make it to Ohio. You have to.
Going back, Jeff, to your heavy equipment operations that you're going to have people to do, are you going to have a KCGM Cat 793 haul truck?
Cool, big old monster monker like that.
That's Shad's
And then we
favorite
could
truck.
do cash shots too. Set off a few thousand pounds. Woo, doggy.
That's Shad's favorite truck right there.
Yeah. Get a D11 in there. A Caterpillar D11.
Oh my
It's got like a 30-foot blade on it.
Jesus God. So all right. So let me think.
Now, when you said you were going to offer some dredging experiences to whereabouts were you thinking? I mean, not exactly,
that's Northern
but what
California.
state?
Oh, okay.
California.
California.
All right.
Now, a lot of people say, well, I thought there was a ban. Well, I told you, a little birdie told me something, so
Right.
I'm going to leave it at that, and
Right.
we're going to try around May.
Okay.
Cool.
Little birdie. Hopefully that little birdie's right. Get you in the
Yeah,
water.
as long as it's not on fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, this is true. But when was the last time you even did any dredging, Jeff?
God, it's been forever, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, a good 15 years. I remember we started off with a little tiny 2-inch,
Mm-hmm.
and we were out there playing around with like a little backpack dredge.
Yeah.
So we were sneaking in and out. I can't tell you where,
Right.
but you'll know just because of where I'm at. But we were sneaking in and out of areas trying to do a little dredging and got some color, and we were trying to move up to the big stuff. But they weren't too happy with that.
Right. I see.
And there was a few disapprovals in there.
I bet there was. So, if somebody's trying to find out more about deposits and stuff like that, what do you recommend to them, Jeff?
If they want to find a deposit to dredge,
No, for just like, I'm here in Ohio. I want to know how the gold got here and stuff like that. What do you suggest when it comes to research?
usually I always tell people, do the research, look up your USGS reports, your MRDS reports. That's going to give you a foundation of what to look for. It's usually going to have overlays on it. I like using the MRDS site. It helps out a lot. And then that's usually the first step, is to find out the deposition, the history. Then after that, you need to find out your land status. And then I go to mylandmatters.org, and they're current with the LR 2000 reports within 2 days. So that's good enough for me. And they have overlays in there where you can use your PLS, Public Land Survey System, PLSS systems, so you know where you're at. And then it'll also tell you the status, whether it's private, whether it's state-owned, whether it's claimed. Now, the downside to all that is that it won't tell you the exact mapping of the claim. You have to go through your county, whatever county you're in, to get those maps sent to you. BLM will do it too, but usually the county's faster. And then they'll send you the maps, and then you know exactly, because if you break up a square mile, a section, into fours, you got 160 acres per section, per quarter section, I should say. And so you could have a 20-acre claim sitting somewhere in that thing, but you don't know where, and you need to know where exactly. So if you go to put your claim in there, you're not sitting on top of his claim.
Right.
So then you're going to have to go down to the county recorder's office and request a copy of their map. You just tell them the name of the mine, and they'll give you a copy of their map. And then that way you know exactly where it's sitting, and then you can go ahead and stake out your claim so you're not, stepping on his toes.
Right. Makes sense. A lot of research.
Yep. So then after but before you file a claim, you're going to go out and sample. So you do the research, you find out, the deposition areas based on history. Because to find gold, you got to go where it's been found before. That's the number one rule.
Right.
And unless you're really, really good at finding new depositions or new outcroppings, I always tell everybody, go where it's been found before, and make sure it's free mill and not locked up in refractory ore or something to that effect. And then you're going to get out there, you're going to put boots on the ground, and you're going to sample yourself. And don't think just one day is going to tell you anything. I've spent 6 months sampling on some of these claims just to make sure that I knew what the reserves were. I drew maps, three-dimensional maps, to make sure I knew what was in the ground.
Right.
Then when I was happy with what I saw, then I went and filed my claims. But before I sampled, I had to know if the ground was open, so I wasn't sampling on somebody else's claim. See what I mean?
Right.
So that's why that's important. So then you can go back and file your claim, and then you bring in bigger equipment, and you've already got your maps where the deposits are. You just make sure you got your timing right for the weather, because that's critical.
Okay. Jeez.
So
that's a lot.
Right. And then, I'm sorry?
I said that is a lot. That's a lot of research. You do this research for every...
I do that 24/7. I'm
Wow.
always looking for new stuff. And I got people sending me confidential information, too, telling me, like I had one guy, it said his father used to work for the oil industry. Who owned Mobile, Nevada Jack?
Well, I know who owns it now is...
Well, anyway,
but it used to be Brock.
so the Mobile oil industry. They had a bunch of geologists going out looking for gold or for oil reserves. Sorry.
Right.
And this guy, he happened to find a gold deposit while he was out there, and this was back in the 70s.
Okay.
And his father died and passed the info on to him. So this guy, now he's older, he's about ready, he's not really apt to get out there and dig, so he passed the information on to me.
Oh, wow.
And so he told me, he goes, I'm going to tell you something that I think you're going to be interested in. So he gave me this huge long email and coordinates and specs, and I was dumbfounded. So we went out there and booked a flight, got out there, and we sampled it, and sure enough, he was right.
Okay.
And so we added that to our collection of tidbits of knowledge, and that's my point is, sometimes reading reports, that's great, and looking at MRDS reports, that's great. But if you can get out there and talk to some of the old timers and the locals in the area,
right.
that's more valuable than gold itself, because they've got the inside track, because maybe their fathers or grandfathers worked that area.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's another thing I tell people is if you can talk, if you can get a beeline on one of the locals, especially one of the older locals, try to get information from them, and make it worth their while. Just don't say thanks and give them a buck, take them out for dinner or cut them in on a percentage of the gold that you find or something.
Right.
And the guy that wrote me, he didn't want nothing in return. He just wanted to see somebody find the deposit. And we went up there, and it took us about a day to find it,
mm-hmm.
and I had to go through a mountain of scrub brush and poison ivy and poison oak. But I finally found it. It's an old tertiary deposit in California.
Mm-hmm.
And to give you a heads up, because when I tell you this, you're going to know where I'm at, this is the one that's feeding the gold into Mineral Bar. So
Okay.
when we found that, we were more than happily excited. We covered it up. And we got out of there before anybody saw what we were doing, because I didn't want other people in there too.
Right.
Because they would pull the whole place apart, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the original tertiary deposits that are feeding the gold into Mineral Bar.
Wow.
And that's where the gold is coming from in Mineral Bar.
Oh, wow.
So, which is right outside of Colfax.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So that's
cool.
just one out of many stories that the people will write in and they'll tell me and they'll send me this information. So.
Mm-hmm.
To summarize what I'm talking about, also get information from locals if you
Right.
can.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
or ask me, if you're doing, some of your research. Say, Jeff, has anybody told you anything special about where I'm at?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say, okay, I'll send you a private email and let you know.
Right, because you're always out there to help people. I've always noticed that about you. And how long have you been doing this now, Jeff? I mean, God.
Oh, my
Long time.
Seems
God,
like
since I was
forever.
10 years old.
Oh, man. I mean, it seems
It was
like...
knee-high to a grasshopper.
I know. It seems like forever. And I mean, how long have you been doing your YouTube videos? That's been...
Since it came out, in 2000, we started in 2009.
So how many plaques do you got now?
You mean play buttons?
Yeah, how many play buttons you got?
Got a silver and a gold and a diamond and
All
I
right.
don't know. I got all kinds of stuff hanging on the wall.
Congratulations, Jeff. Way to go, buddy. You've been doing this quite some time then, and I don't see an end ever coming to it. Do you? You love this.
Well, I hope not. Knock on wood.
No, I
We
mean,
went out of gold.
Yeah, nobody wants gold anymore. I'd probably still do it.
yep.
Yes.
You definitely.
Well, I know
will.
the Anunnaki are coming back. They want gold, so I'll always have a job.
And you don't have time. There's no time for you. It's you still got your mechanic business going too.
Yeah, I still
Dang.
ASC certified master. Still have my own service shop. We do MIG and TIG fabrication, metal fab, also air conditioning, HVAC. So yeah,
You gotta-
we got that running too. I had to bring in another staff just to cover that because
bet.
I was running out of time.
I bet. I was about to ask you.
I'm
sure
glad because Jeff helped me with my truck.
Oh, he did.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Just recently, the truck that I got, I traded for a handgun, 9mm handgun. It needed a little bit of work, and I knew he was a guru on mechanics, so I guess one of the perks of being a patron of his, a premium patron, is I shot him an email, and man, it was that day he responded right back, and
Why did I didn't
Yeah,
know?
I always tell people if you become a premium patron, one of the perks is I check my emails about every 20 seconds,
Mhm.
and I try to fast as I can, and I give detailed information no matter what the question is.
Man.
And it was kind of out of left field. He says, "Yeah, I think I got a coolant leak," and so I'm like, "Well, this is how we tested in the shop when we were looking for coolant leaks."
Uh-huh.
And so I ran through, the basic procedures, and I'm hoping it helped. But that's how we nailed down, if we have a cylinder misfire because of a coolant leak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it did help. I mean, I was a mechanic in the military, so I kind of did the backyard thing out of my garage for a few years, so I kind of had an idea of what it was. I just wanted to get your input on it, and you were spot on. So.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I didn't know being a premium patron you can ask automotive questions too, but that's pretty cool. Way to go, Jeff.
Right, that's the perk, and like I said, a quick response.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, I can't answer everything because I've had some people tell me, "All right, I want to know where this specific mine's at that you've been working." I can't tell you.
No, do they really ask you that?
Yeah.
Really?
I've had people ask me, they want to know the coordinates to it. I'm like, really? You got to put down at least $1 million before I answer that question. I'm sorry.
Oh my God! Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so.
Oh, here's another one. You're gonna love this. I had the National Forest Service ask me one time, what's the gig with Slim? How does he work? How does he talk? I'm not kidding you. And I'm like, what? So I said, with his mouth. How else do you think he talks? Come on now, don't stop wasting my time.
Now, did you bring Slim with you? Is he there with you?
No, Slim's not right. He's in the cabin right now, counting his gold again. You think I'm crazy for gold? That fool. That's another thing I was going to bring up too. Is Slim. A lot of people ask me, how does Slim know so much about gold? That poor fool. He's got a big old chest full of old gold maps. I kid you not.
Uh-huh.
And I've been going through them, trying to when I got the time, and they're from the 1850s up to 1912. So I'm impressed. And so a lot of people ask me, Jeff, how do you know? Well, first I go through these maps, son of Jim, and these maps to me, and he's got about I don't know. You've seen the box, Nevada Jack.
It's a big box. I've never seen in it, but I've seen the box.
He's got like 120 maps in there, really old maps.
Jeez.
So.
Yeah, it's
like a treasure chest.
Yeah, it's like a treasure chest.
Well, yeah,
I might just give one or two of those away.
Oh, that would be nice.
So,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. It's not just gold; it's silver deposits too. So I'm not really interested in silver. I know where there's a ton of silver, but I really don't care about silver. It just doesn't do anything for me.
No.
So, and the silver that we found is locked up in sericite, and it's really easy to reduce. And we've reduced it before down into metal silver.
Right.
And so no, I don't particularly care for silver. So if anybody's got silver questions,
It's not exciting as gold.
I can point you in that direction.
Oh, it's not as exciting as gold, but still, it's silver. It's still cool.
It's okay.
It's cool.
No point in being number two.
I know, right?
I
Who cares
know.
about number two? They want number one. Who does number one work for? Oh, that's who does number two work for. Oh.
Now, Jeff, we got Shad, help me out here. We do Shad does a precious metal price every week.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the prices is it rhodium, Shad, or palladium?
Oh,
or what is
yeah.
it that's really high?
Rhodium.
Rhodium. You ever thought about that, Jeff? See how high
No,
that is?
I'm going to teach you a secret to life, okay?
Okay.
And it took me a long time to figure this out, but here's the secret to life. You pick your layer and you stick with it. Got it?
Okay.
Pick that layer and you stick with it, boy. And I guarantee that'll take you far.
Oh, so that's the secret to life.
Yeah, you don't branch out into all kinds of crazy stuff. And look at this and look at that, and ooh, what about this over here? Oh, who cares?
Squirrel.
With your passion, you pick your layer and you stick with it.
Yeah.
Something that glows in the dark.
Yeah, I know, right? So nope, I'm a gold guy through and through. Done it my whole life. That's all I deal with. I know the basics on other metals, base metals, and silver and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a gold guy through and through. That's all I do. I don't mess with anything else.
So if you're
I don't even attempt to look into it because unless it has some type of effect on the deposition of gold, or if it's an indicator metal, then no, I don't mess with it.
Oh, okay. So I'm not. I lost my train of thought, Jeff. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I know I have a way of talking until somebody falls asleep, so I apologize.
No, I had it right there, and it was like, and then it was gone that quick. It's like, really? It was perfect. And then, I got it. What have you come across anything strange lately in any of these new mines that you've opened up?
We found a lot of artifacts in one. Because they sealed it up. Looks like they blasted it shut for whatever reason.
Okay.
I didn't see no ghosts or orbs in it, but we found a lot of relics. Slim Pickens number 1. We're still hearing some creepy sounds coming out of the caves. We went ahead and got an RC truck and a GoPro 6.
Right.
So we're going to send it down into the caves to see what's down there. And I'm really hoping that I don't run into, anything unusual down there because it's freaking me out. I know, right? Like what Philip Schneider found down in his when he was drilling and blasting those underground bases. So,
wouldn't mind an old pair of Levi's, though. I hear they're going for premium prices.
As far as anything recently, no, nothing weird. Just those darn noises. So, like I said, we're gonna do a special episode where we send the cameras down into the caves that we punched into.
That'll be
and because they're kind of small for me, I can get all the way in maybe about 6-7 feet, and there's a pinch point there, and it gets me a little nervous because I'm completely inside of the cave system, and if I get stuck, it's going to be real hard to pull me out.
Oh, geez.
So we figured we'd send an RC vehicle down there and see if it can get in a little deeper.
Right. Yeah, that's scary anyway. It's like, man, you're like a mole. You just
mole man.
It's small for him. It's small.
I know, right? I'm designed genetically for this kind of thing. So
that's right. That's what. Jeez, I just couldn't do it. But when you go in, you're sure your safety and stuff. You don't take no crazy chances, right?
Nope. I got a full crew up on top and down inside, making sure everything's good to go. We got the air meters running, make sure nothing comes out that I'm not expecting. And I'm usually tethered to some point. I got a harness on. Mm-hmm. So I'm also certified in the Las Vegas Caving Association. So
cool.
That's something that I like to do just for fun.
So which one's freaked you out the most? That one you was talking about with the pinch point?
Yeah, the pinch point. I don't like it. I'm gonna have to either try to drill through it, cut through it to widen it out, or do something. And there's a lot of weird stuff in there that. I don't know if you saw the video, but the soil composition has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a dark brownish red. It doesn't look like anything else in there, so I'm assuming that it's because of the flow of water when there was an inland sea here, and as it's draining out, it runs through there and carries sediment from other areas, and that's probably sediment from somewhere else because it doesn't look like anything in that area. It's not indigenous to that particular section.
Right.
And there's seashells in there too. So we're finding an abundance of those. And then, of course, we got the little flowers of the gypsum flowers that are floating around in there too.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's pretty cool though.
That doesn't surprise me because there's a thick bed of clay that sits on top of it, and it's just loaded with gypsum crystal because the crystal grows right inside of the clay.
Okay.
And I mean, these are like the size of your finger, and they're razor sharp. And then the flowers, they grow inside the cave system.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty neat.
They're like little nodules.
Right.
I remember I made a video about that once.
Mm-hmm. That is pretty cool, though. I like
Yeah,
that.
it is. It's just kind of freaky because I don't know where this thing is going to go.
Right.
And I don't want to wind up like some of these cavers where I get stuck in a drain pipe, and you got the shape of a pipe, and I get caught in there, and they have to drill and blast me out. No way.
No, that wouldn't be good at all. Man, geez.
No, that wouldn't.
No.
I like a good adventure, but come on, I got to draw the line somewhere.
Right. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's like, it's not like that. No, that's just freaky.
My biggest question is I don't know if you've ever heard of and I've chased a lot of, lost treasure stories, but there's supposed to be an underground river that cuts all the way down and comes out as the Mojave River outside of, what is that, Victorville?
By Barstow.
Barstow, and supposedly even the mob knew about it when they were building Vegas, and they actually have a walkway that goes down into it, and that's where, if they wanted to eliminate an undesirable, they just toss them in there after, after they were done, and evidence is gone.
Uh-huh.
So when they were putting in the Mandalay Bay and the Luxor, and when they were putting the columns in, the columns were sinking because there's a cavity down there, and it runs from there all the way down to Clark Mountain, then into the Providence Mountains, and there's Devil's Hole there, and then it makes a right turn and heads out across Mojave Desert, and eventually it pops out as the Mojave River.
Uh-huh.
And I'm hoping that where we're at, because we're really close to it on the border, that I'm hoping that we tap into it somehow. And because the legendary cocoa reef, if you've ever heard of that, is in proximity to that. James Dorr, when he found that.
Wow.
And
Been digging for a long time.
I know, right? And now what's the guy who owns that surplus shop out there? Hans War Surplus. Hans been drilling and blasting in that thing for years.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen the original videotape of when they opened it up back in the 40s or 50s.
I think it was 50s.
And it's an old black and white film, and you can see him in there. And there's a big cavern, and there's a river flowing in there.
Wow.
And then they sealed it up, and then they've been trying to come in from the other side.
Did he say he wanted to build an amusement park?
Yeah,
A what?
So-
Amusement park?
that's another story.
Oh. Okay.
So I've known Han for forever.
A long time.
Yeah.
He's been around a long time.
I've known him since '81, I think.
Wow.
And we've been going out there visiting his site. So I'm really interested in the supposed underground river of gold and the black sand and all that stuff. I've been chasing that for years. So that'll kind of give you a clue as to why I'm so excited.
Sure. That is cool. That is something worth being excited about. Definitely. Man, we'll hope to see something about that soon. That'd be cool.
Yeah, could you imagine that thing popping open and I repel down into that darn thing?
Oh.
I hope there's no bodies down there.
You never know what you'll find down there.
Accumulating on the surface.
I know, right?
Man.
Hey, what if what's-his-face is down there? Who was that guy that disappeared?
Jimmy Hoffa?
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, imagine if I find Hoffa down there, at least his wristwatch. Come on now. Slim's got a new buddy.
That's
A new partner.
Yeah, that would be something. That's a cool adventure. You definitely got the adventures, Now, hey,
Well, I try. Actually, I don't go looking for them. They find me somehow.
They come to you.
Hopefully they keep that.
He's like a regular magnet.
Yeah, all right.
Now, Jeff, have you ever thought about looking for the Forrest Fenn treasure?
Oh, speaking of that, I don't know if you heard about it. I'm
What?
sure you did. The premium patrons know all about this, but we had a treasure hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our own Forrest Fenn treasure hunt because I got tired of listening about his treasure and how people can't find it.
Right.
So we had our own treasure hunt, and we filled that thing full of silver Morgans
Really?
and gold nuggets, and we hid it up into the mountains of Nevada. And we sent out maps to the people who requested them. Of course, they had to buy them; they're not free.
Right.
And we had a whole bunch of people out there looking, and finally one guy, I kid you not, I know this guy. He flew out. He's from Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
And he would book a flight and come out here every weekend and look for that thing, and he did it for 2 months straight. I don't know how he afforded to do that.
Wow.
And he eventually found the treasure.
I'll be darned.
He was so excited. There was another guy that was working with him, Thomas the Tank Tanaka, and he was working with him too, and he was sleeping out of his truck trying to stay in the area because he wanted to find it first. So they teamed up and worked together, and they had the map, and the map had special clues on it, and some of them were hidden inside of the map. You had to really understand maps to know that, and some of them were pretty simple. And so they teamed up, and after about a couple months, they finally found the treasure. So they got a whole bunch of 1880 silver Morgans, and they got some gold nuggets and a replica 45.
That is cool. Are you
Wow.
You going to do that again?
And all of it was in a replica box from the Pony Express,
I'll
because
be
a lot of
darned.
people asked me if it was the original. I said, come on now, original's like $2,000.
You planning
So
on...
we got we paid attention to detail, and it's an
Right.
exact replica, and even the lock is an exact replica.
That is cool. Now,
So yeah, we buried that monker out there, and man, you should have seen these people. That whole mountain looks like a gunnery range, range from some mortar fire, and people were digging holes like it was the 1850s again. And then, like I said, eventually this guy, he had the map and he put the clues together and he finally found it. I felt kind of sorry for him because he was pulling his hair out looking for this darn thing.
Sure. Well, that's what it was about, though, right? I mean,
yeah, it was about that and having fun.
Right.
I wanted people to outside and experience, the outdoors and to live again. Just sit behind a computer all day. What's up with that?
Exactly.
And go on the thrill of the hunt. And he finally found it, and man, he was really excited. He made a video about it, and I posted it on my site for all the premium patrons to see, so they could see, because I told everybody, if you're going to go out looking for it, try to film it, especially if you think you're on to something.
Sure.
So, and we had so much fun with this guy because we had put a whole bunch of things out there to throw him off the trail.
Right.
So he said, "Oh, I thought I found it, but it was an old 1880s gold pan." Or it was an old spoon, or this or that, because everybody was coming out with metal detectors trying to find that darn thing.
Mm-hmm. Of course. But do you think...
And it was so funny. I got it on film. I said, the clues are on the map. And so he goes, I said, there's one clue in particular that everybody missed. We wrote the exact coordinates to the treasure using invisible ink, so it's only highlighted with an infrared light.
Aww.
And I showed it. It's so funny. We got that moment on film where I had brought in a black light, and I said, all you had to do is use a black light, and boop, the coordinates are right there on the map.
Oh, so it was right there in front of their face. That is amazing.
He just about ripped his hair out when he saw that.
Oh, my God. I bet. That was genius.
So much fun with that. But I really enjoyed that, and I didn't mean to get off track with the Forrest Fenn story, but we had our own treasure hunt.
No, that's cool.
And it brought people and families out and out in the woods. And, of course, we picked a location that wasn't dangerous. And and I think everybody had a lot of fun.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of these long, dragged-out 10 years later story. I hate that.
Yeah, that's...
It's like, come on, if you're gonna have a treasure hunt, don't make it more than a couple years and don't make it so hard that people get killed over it. What's up with that?
Yeah. Good point there. Yeah.
No, I mean that's ridiculous.
It is.
No, to answer your question, no, I never looked for Forrest Fenn's treasure. I wasn't impressed because it just, if I was the one to hide a treasure and somebody got killed looking for it, I would feel pretty darn bad about that.
You would. Yes, exactly. It's like, enough of this. Just pull.
Yeah, this is insanity.
Yeah, right. It is. It is insanity. When people start losing their lives, it's
no treasure is worth your life.
No, exactly.
That kind of upset me about him, and so I said, you know what, we're going to have our own treasure hunt, and we're going to make it so somebody can find it. Not too easy, but easy enough, and it's going to be safe and fun for the whole family.
Yes.
And that's what I like.
Everyone enjoys it.
Yeah, and we're going to try to make it authentic, so we have 1880s coins in the original Wells Fargo bag, which was hard to get, by the way. And, of course, there's in there, too, and an authentic box for it to sit in with an authentic lock.
That is cool. You going to do it again?
Yeah, and the maps were really cool. I don't know if you ever saw the maps, but each one was hand-drawn. It takes a whole day to make them because they're made the old way. That you have to soak them, and it's different layers of mapping material. And, oh, my God, we had a lot of fun. I'll just leave it at that.
I bet. Now, are you going to do it again?
Yeah, we're going to have another one.
See, that'll be cool.
This one's going to be bigger. And the treasure's going to be bigger, but this one's going to be more difficult because it seems that the guy who found it, after pulling his hair out, he was kind of laughing, saying, "Oh, you should have another one, except make that one harder." Oh, okay, I can do that. So what we're thinking about doing is actually having multiple ones. One's for the family and children,
right,
and then one's for the advanced, hardcore treasure hunters.
That's
so
good,
that way it breaks it up into different sections,
right?
Groups.
Because I've seen some of these guys, man, they're climbing mountains and they brought their rappelling gear and they were living on site. I was like, holy cow, these guys are really hardcore.
They're serious.
And then the other ones brought their families and their children out there, and I'm like, yeah, next time I think we're going to split it up.
That's a good idea.
And in the two different locations. So I think that'll be fun.
That would be. That sounds like a lot of fun. So yeah, look forward to seeing that too, man. God, a lot going on in Jeff Williams' life. That's for
I
sure.
know, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a poll out there on the site, the premium patron site, and say, what do you guys want to see for a treasure? Do you know? And don't say gold coins, because I can't put $1 million worth of gold coins in that darn thing. But you want silver coins again?
Oh, come on, Jeff.
All right.
Come on. How about you make your own gold coins?
Yeah,
no, I might put a couple in there for fun, but it'd be kind of a rattly box with a few coins. You got to have something else in there.
Slim ring, things like that. Some cool stuff, and yeah.
I think that would be kind of cool, right? A slim ring.
It would be, yeah. It would be.
And a miniature slim.
And a miniature slim? What?
Yeah.
I'll cut off one of his toes and put that in there.
No.
Then they put that in the ground in Halloween and grow their own slim.
That's
They should have their own talking slim. That way they know what I go through every night.
That's right.
Some people don't want to go through that.
Oh, mercy.
Freaks me out at night. So
that would be
anyway, so that's what we got going. That's just a drop in the pan. So
yeah, because I know
trying to keep it fun.
Yeah, I know you got some other things going on that you're going to tell us about here before you leave. But I think what we can do real quick, we'll take a quick commercial break and we'll come back. We'll open up the phone lines and see if anybody's got any questions for you guys. Okay?
I think that's fantastic.
All right. Well, we'll be right back, everybody.
You're gonna drop that.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice crack in the bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands? You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. A sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, American Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men, and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their Miners Legal Fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
And then when they go to put it in,
my way home to show you all my gold.
You've been digging into some Jimbo's Gold pay dirt.
Yeah, Jimbo's Gold made me a hero.
Huh?
Got an amazing idea and supplies on sale from Jimbo's website. With bad weather, bored kids, and stressed wife, I threw a panning party for the kids and their friends. All the moms got a break, kids had a blast. Hero.
Happy kids, happy wife, great gold. That's why Jimbo's Gold is always my first choice.
Did you teach panning or share your prospecting knowledge? Then you are our hero. Tell us your story for a chance to receive a hero's reward at www.jimbosgold.com/hero.
You're listening to Prospectors Radio on the Gold Prospectors Space Network. Phone lines are open. Have a question? Give us a call. 419-520-7574.
All right, everybody, we're back with Jeff Williams and Nevada Jack. So if you got any questions for Jeff or Jack, give us a call. 419-520-7574. So what was we talking about, Jeff, before that break? We was talking about your treasure hunt and the forest.
Yeah, the treasure hunt and how much fun we had with that. And all the people involved. And like I said, that was the whole purpose, was to have fun with it. and of course, make the treasure something worthwhile to go after. And
Right.
there was over, what was it? There was like a whole ton of 100 silver coins in there.
Right. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how's it going? This is John down here in Texas.
How are you, John?
John, how the heck are you?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and say howdy to my buddy Jeff and Nevada Jack.
Howdy.
Well, how do you?
Doing great. Just enjoying all the good videos.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I'm just enjoying all the good videos you put out. I'm one of your premium patrons, so I get to watch
we
them all.
greatly appreciate the support and helping us keep the dream alive.
Sure do.
So, and you know that if you have questions, you can ask me 24/7. I'll respond.
Oh, I know. I'm still waiting on the Slim's video about that coin I sent him.
I know we've been. Whew, I tell you what, I'm glad you reminded me on that too, because we have a bunch of stuff people sent in that they want us to do product reviews or they want to talk about something. So, but don't worry, we got the video coming.
I know it'll get there. I know you're busy as all get out, and I love that you're finding all that good stuff there in Slim Pickens. It's starting not to be so slim.
It's hard going, I tell you what. There's barely enough room to lay down in there.
Oh, yeah, but there's some nice nuggets are coming out of there, or honker, or whatever you want to call them.
Big monkers coming out of there. That last one was, what, a 9-grammer that fell out of the roof. I was like, holy cow.
That's another.
And then remember the tooth nugget? Oh yeah, it was like a big old fat tooth, like a stalactite.
Man.
Yeah.
That's some nice
That
ones.
was a good one. I put that in my mouth. Fit perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I say, I just wanted to say hello and let you know we're behind you all the way on that, supporting you all the way.
Oh, I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. And if there's anything I can ever do, let me know, and we're going to get on that video about the coin. Trust me, I got it sitting right here, and we got a box right next to where we put all of our stuff.
Yeah. Well, like I say, I sent that to him as I said, hey, he says he never gets anything. I figured I'd find him something that was done about the time he was a youngster.
Knee high to a grasshopper.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Take care, and have a great evening.
Thanks for calling, buddy.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Take care, John.
All right.
Bye, buddy.
All right, take care.
All right, John Shaw, good friend of ours. So, so what's up with this coin, Jeff? For Slim?
Oh, a while back he sent me a coin that he had found. It's an older coin.
Hold on. Another caller for you, Jeff. All right, hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? It's Ronald from Minnesota.
Hey, Ronald, what's happening tonight?
Hey, not too much. I'm just listening to Jeff. How you doing, Jeff?
Hey, how the heck are you, Ronald?
Doing good. And how's Jack doing?
Doing fine.
You doing fine? You're supposed to be doing better than fine. You're supposed to be on top of the world, Ma.
As long as I don't get run over by a train, I'm doing fine.
All right.
Hey, I want to ask
He's doing okay.
who did all that cooking for Thanksgiving?
I'm sorry?
Who did all that cooking for Thanksgiving?
Oh, who did all the cooking? Nevada Jack. He's a good cook. He does that Dutch oven cooking.
It looked like
I know, right? That's what I thought when I saw him trying to cook.
Wise man.
I had a question
I was
for you.
afraid to eat it.
What is your I probably know the answer already, but what is your favorite metal detector?
Oh, my favorite. That's like asking a carpenter what's his favorite tool in his tool bag. I got all kinds of metal detectors I really like based on what I'm doing. I mean, I like the Gold Bug 2. You know, I like Whites. I like Garrett, the ATX. I like Mind Lab. So I can't say I have one in particular I like, because each one has its function out in the field. So depending on what I'm doing. So I can't say that there's just one in particular. use the gold bug too a lot, but that's because I'm down in the drift mines, and I'm looking for those targets. Sometimes we'll bring a pulse induction down there to get deep into the walls. And Garrett ATX makes a good one, and so does MineLab. MineLab makes fantastic. The GPZ 7000 is unbeatable as far as depth in the pulse induction world. So I can't say I got one in particular. I'm sorry, but I don't.
All right, fair enough. No, that's fair enough. I got it. No, I just want. I have seen you use the gold bug too quite often down in the mine because I guess it's a little easier to work in the tight areas or whatever. With the signal.
Yeah, and it operates at a high frequency of 71 kilohertz. So if there's little tiny pieces of gold, it'll pick it up a lot easier. And I really like that down there. It really helps.
All right, good deal. All right, well, happy holidays to you, and hopefully I'll get out there to see you at your camp that you have in the summertime. You know, you're talking about
we hope
that 1 week.
Out there, Ron, we really do.
Yeah. All right. I've seen those videos you had with some of the guys that came from all over the place. I don't know how far they came. I guess one guy was from New York or something, whatever.
Yeah, we had one from New York, one from Minnesota or Michigan. One of them even came out on one of our tours from Australia, and another guy from New Zealand.
Wow.
So I couldn't believe it. So I was on my A game on that day, let me tell you.
Well, thank you very much for everything that you do, all the videos you show, and just a lot of information and knowledge that you give us every time you put out a video. And I learned so much from you guys, from GPS crew and you, Jeff, and just everyone does these videos. That they're just a lot of good information. I haven't had any bad information yet, so.
Oh, well, that's great. That must mean we're doing something right.
That's right. So I appreciate everybody, and thank you, Tim, for having the phone line open.
You're welcome,
and
buddy.
Thank you, Jeff, and Jeff.
Oh,
and
thank you,
guys
Ronald. We appreciate
wonderful holiday.
All right.
You too.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Got another caller here, Jeff. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Don Hamill from San Diego.
Hey, Don. How are you tonight?
Good. About yourself?
I'm doing good. You got a question for Jeff?
I do.
Go ahead, bud.
All right. Hey, just a question. In the tunnels, in the shafts, when you're drifting, or actually this would be in a lode mine, if you see the quartz vein up there, and I've always wondered, in a tunnel, horizontal tunnel, are they blasting to bring that to the ground, or do they usually try to go through the middle of it, or how does that work, if that makes sense?
No, it does make sense, and I've had a lot of people ask me questions when they're walking around in the mines, and they see a section of vein exposed, and they want to know what the heck is going on, what are the miners thinking? Well, it's kind of a complex question because each deposit is different, and the deposit can sometimes be barren, and sometimes they'll drift along with the vein deposit, trying to see if it is going to get richer or not, or they'll do cross cuts into it depending on the structure of the mine. So a general way to answer your question is a lot of times, 90% of the time, miners use gravity when they're working in the mine. So they'll try to get up underneath the deposit, and then they'll blast up into it. They'll put a raise into it, and then they'll branch the raise out into that deposit, and then they'll create ore passes. And then as they're dumping it down the ore pass, it'll create a stope, which is a large cavity, and then they'll separate it with stulls, which are beams to hold it open. And what they'll do is they'll try to get on the bottom of it. Sometimes the vein will pinch and swell, like I said earlier, and they'll have to go down. They'll drop a winze in the floor, and they'll go down below and see if it widens out again, if it swells out. So when you're walking in a mine, and say you're walking down, it could be a haulage drift, it could be just a cross-cut or drift. If you see the vein above your head, if it's there, that means it's barren. There's nothing in it, unless it's in a column. If it's in a column, or a pillar, as they call it, then that means there is gold in it, but they left it there to hold the ceiling up, the back. So if you follow it along, if there's any mineralization in it, you'll notice that all of a sudden it's either gone or there's a large cavity there where they removed it. So what they'll do, like I said, they'll get up underneath that darn thing, and what they'll do is they don't want to contaminate the deposit too much when they blast it out, so a lot of times they'll try to blast just the ore material out itself. That's why you see a lot of these skinny stopes that go all the way to the surface. They're just interested in the deposit itself, the vein that they're chasing, if it is a vein-hosted deposit, if it's not disseminated. So that's why you'll see it that way, and that's probably why you see vein structures in there, and if they're there, that means there's nothing in them.
Okay, that's what I wonder about. And then also, can you explain the difference, I can never get this straight, between a hanging wall and a footwall?
You bet I can. It's real simple. All right, so a lot of your gold deposits, your quartz vein deposits, orogenic hosted gold deposits, they're gonna be in fault zones, and the fault zones are usually up on a high angle, and it's usually somewhere between maybe a 60-degree to 80-degree angle, and there's a reason for that, and we won't get into tectonic movement and all that stuff. But the bottom line is when you're working in a mine or you're walking in one, and if the wall is hanging towards you, that's a hanging wall. If it's going away from you, it's a footwall.
Okay. Okay, got it. And
what the hanging wall is always towards you, and a footwall is always sloped away from you.
Away from you. Okay, makes sense. Now, what are the chances of mine gas in gold mines?
It depends on the region, actually. You don't have that big of a problem like you do back east with the coal mines. But you do have certain carbon monoxide pockets that form if there's not proper ventilation. You can have dead air pockets in there, but you're not going to get the methane gas like you get back east from the coal deposits that are slowly deteriorating. So we have ran into a few of those, and I always recommend, if you're going in mines, get a 4-gas air meter. You can find some on Amazon for a couple $100. It'll save your life. One of the ones that almost got me once, just a personal side story, is I was going into a raise in the back of a smaller mine, and there was a pack rat nest in the very back. And it was the raise had gone up at a 45-degree angle. And the pack rat was, of course, from him living there, was releasing a lot of methane from his excrement in the nest, and a lot of ammonia from the urine. And so when I got back there, because of the angle of the raise, there was nowhere that the gases could go from that. And when I hit that pocket, it almost knocked me out cold. Wow. And I couldn't believe it. I was literally trying to get back down to the haulage drift to get some fresh air. I've never felt that much of a punch from bad air coming from a rat's nest. So I tell people, get a 4-gas air meter. It should be good enough. The mines here in the West are not that prevalent with bad air as much as they are back east, but you can have pockets of carbon monoxide, or some fool lights a fire in a mine. I've seen that too, and the smoke's got nowhere to go. You're going to walk into a stope and be sucking it in, all that carbon monoxide.
Okay, I never understood how mine fires actually accelerate. I've never understood unless they're burning just the timbers, like in Virginia City and around Tonopah, places like that. They kill you.
Exactly.
How do those fires propagate? Is it just burning?
Of course, you've heard about the Pennsylvania coal fires that are still burning to this day. That's because of the coal. But out west, you've got the Yellow Jacket mine in Virginia City that it caught fire. And I'm not going to go into what caused it because it's still a theory. But the timbers they catch fire and they start to burn. And if there's any kind of a source of a draft, it'll actually feed that fire, and you can have the fire increase because of that. And what they'll try to do is, a lot of mines will have what's called bulkheads in there, or air doors, and the air doors are there for multiple reasons, but also in case there's a fire, they can try to choke that fire out by sealing the air off and closing up those bulkheads. So the timber is what's burning down there, and some of those mines, they have square sets in them, and that's a lot of wood, and it's like a city underground. So that's what's causing it to burn.
Okay. Well, cool. Hey, I enjoy your site. I'm recently found your site here in the last few months. I posted a pic the other day from Oatman area with a nugget I found out there with a metal detector. And,
I saw that. Those are some good-looking pics, and you got the drone pic that you posted too. I like that.
Yep. Really
now,
enjoying your site.
You were using a GB2 in there. You didn't find anything in the ribs of the back of that mine I know where that mine's at, and I've been out there. I haven't found anything either.
Nope, I didn't. We didn't find a thing. Like I said, I didn't understand why people shoot into mines. Why am I finding bullets inside of a mine shaft?
Well, if you can figure that out, please let me know. I don't know why people, and I know people seen me shooting in mines, but I'm not using real ammo. I'm using blaze. Right. Come on now.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I guess maybe they're thinking they can scare something out of the mine by shooting into it. I don't know.
Maybe it's a rattlesnake.
I bet when you got that target on there, you were excited. You thought, oh, that's a gold nugget. I'm getting that bunker right now.
Exactly. We thought we had something good there.
Yeah, it sounds just like a gold nugget,
thanks for all your help, man.
Thanks for calling, Don.
All right, thanks.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Don.
Thank you.
Got another caller here ready, Joe? Jeez. All right, hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Woody from Oregon City.
Hey, how you doing tonight, Woody? You got a question for Jeff?
Good. How y'all doing?
How the heck are you, Woody?
Well, good evening to you, mister. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving belated.
Should I say Poker Fat Farm?
Give her some.
I love that.
Hey, man, I got a question. I don't know if you've already been asked this, okay? So I need to know, this year, are you going to do a tour on the American River?
Well,
and what
equipment
will we need? Sorry. And what equipment will we need if you do that?
Oh, okay. Well, it's still in the air on the American River. We are looking at the feather and the Klamath. More likely going to be the feather. So, what equipment will you need? Because of where the claims are at right now, and there's still discussion. But what equipment will you need? Well, you're going to need to bring your swimming trunks. So, but leave your birthday suit at home, would you? So, if you got a wetsuit and goggles and underwater gloves and the water shoes, that'll help a whole lot too. We'll have the weights and everything for you to strap into. And but if you have your own goggles and suit, that would be great because it's hard to try to supply suits for everybody, and everybody's got a different shape. And if somebody happens to have a suit that they like and fits well, that's even better because
that much into the game.
I know, right? Because my suit might not fit everybody. So.
Oh, come on! Are you calling me fat? Hey.
No, I'm saying if Nevada Jack was there, my suit wouldn't fit him.
How's that? Thing, it stinks.
It'd be a little bit small.
Are you still there?
I just wanted to give a shout out. Thank you so much for everything, man. I love you, and I'm just looking forward to a dredging tour.
Oh, we are too, Woody, and we love you too. Thanks for coming out on all the tours. I know you had fun.
We had a blast, and all my kids are totally looking forward to doing something again here. So, yeah, happy holidays to you, Buster, and I can't wait to send you a picture with my book.
Yeah, the book contest.
All right.
Remember, keep it PG.
Oh, of course, but yeah, sort of.
I don't want to see Elmo on your belly.
All right, my friend. Have a good evening. I had to ask you because I'm just getting all amped up for next year.
Yeah. So give her some fuel.
Hey, honestly, I keep cutting you off.
All right. Thanks for calling, Woody.
Yeah, have a good evening, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Got one more caller for you, Jeff. Oh, jeez. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Stuart, and I'm from Texas.
How you doing tonight, Stuart?
Good. I've got a question for Jeff.
Go ahead, buddy.
He's always talking about can't say that word. Rock stuff. He sounds like my old. He sounds like my old earth science teacher. I want to know where he learned that from and what his background is in that. Is he just learned that by himself, or was he a teacher? What was it?
Good question.
I'd be more than happy to share my background on that. Long story short.
Geology is what I was thinking.
There you go.
Okay, go ahead.
Long story short, I got a degree in geology from the Mackey School of Mines up there in Reno. And then shortly after that, I worked in a few small gold mines. And then after that, I worked with 2 old-timers outside of Pahrump in some hard rock mines that taught me a whole bunch of valuable lessons. And I got a bunch of friends that work up at Barrick. And they keep me abreast on everything that's happening there. And that's pretty much my background. And then, of course, whenever I get a chance, I try to learn as much as I can because the world of gold geology is constantly changing. The theories are changing. The accepted notions are changing. And so I always try to stay on top of that, too, because the stuff I learned at Mackey School of Mines, that's great, but, it only went so far, and that was technology from, the early 80s. So, of course, a lot of things have changed now, and our viewpoints on orogenic hosted gold deposits has changed a lot since then, and so I'm always on top of that as well. So that kind of gives you a brief background. Of course, I'm always in the field because book knowledge will only take you so far. So you got to get out there and you got to put this stuff to the test, and you got to understand the rocks, and you got to look for the anomalies, the ones that don't fit in any of the textbooks, and then that's what you need to learn. So to answer your question in short, I got a degree, been schooled by the best, and I'm out there constantly trying to sharpen and hone my skills by being in the field as much as I can.
Well, that's great. I really appreciate the videos, and I'm a Patriot member, and look forward to maybe meeting you in the future at one of these events. So,
oh man!
Guys,
well, I'll tell you what, Stu. Like I said, we're going to put a poll out there for you guys when we go to do our meet and greets, and then you guys can tell us, based on the poll, where would you like us to go to? Because the first one will be in Virginia City, and then we don't know where we're going from there. But I would like it to be like an old, kind of like a ghost town or western town. I don't want to go to some city because there's I don't know, that doesn't feel right. I want something to do with gold.
Right. Yeah. Well, also I got my book Friday, so I've been going.
Oh, did you like it? You got the book?
Yeah, I got the book. Yeah, it arrived Friday.
You like it. It was
real late in the mail.
Being slim.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, you guys take care. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Jeff, now.
Hey, Jeff.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I can't get a word in twice.
No, neither can Nevada Jack. Don't feel bad.
I was going to just be a caller. Just kidding. So you kind of brought it up on the last call about the ghost towns, and growing up out there, you've probably been to numerous. What is your favorite and why?
Oh, well, as far as a living ghost town or a ghost town in arrested development, because there's one that stands out above all of them that is my favorite, and then there's ghost towns that are still alive where people are still living there. So you have to differentiate between the two, but I'll give you the answer. Is my favorite ghost town is Bodie, and I love that place. I have a personal connection with that place, I feel. And as far as living ghost towns, it would be Virginia City. I feel, I must have been there in a past life because I seem to know places that people haven't told me about yet.
Yeah, great railroad too.
Okay.
Did that kind of answer your question?
Yeah. Just wondering.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of other ghost towns that are fantastic. I've been to a lot of them, and I like Tombstone, and I like some of these other ones that are down around Yuma and in California. But Bodie, I tell you what, Bodie is my favorite as far as one that nobody lives at except for the park rangers.
You didn't take anything from there, did you?
No, you best not take nothing because there's a curse on that stuff.
They have a curse.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I can tell you stories about that town that people don't know about, too.
Really?
So, and then, of course, my favorite one, the living one, is Virginia City, and then I got a whole list behind Virginia City. But those are the two that are right up there on the top of my list.
Pretty cool.
Pretty neat. Now, Jeff, before...
Hey, Jeff.
Oh, go ahead, Dennis.
I was going to tell you, now, I sent you, what was it, about a year or so ago, I sent you a sample of that one pit I was working, had but them little teeny tiny screws in them.
I got that sample. That was a heavy sample, heavy bags.
I don't know what those little screws are from, but now I'm a quarter mile north onto another, I think you've seen that one video where they're pulling the old, the gravel pit, they're pulling it out. And now I'm coming across there. It looks like little teeny tiny staples. It's really weird. I need to send you some of those samples because I'm really curious as to what that might be.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to run them under the microscope, find out what the heck they are, if they're a natural anomaly or if it's something from a previous civilization, perhaps.
Yeah, those little bitty screws still has me baffled.
I think it's just the Keebler elves.
Well, tell me where those cookies are at, because I'm starving.
No, that's kind of funny, though. In Indiana, there are these little zipper teeth that we seem to dredge up a lot. I don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
Well, definitely send me a sample. I'd be curious to take a look at that under a microscope to see if it's a natural anomaly or if it's a man-made anomaly.
I'll send you some of the sample. Of course, if there's any gold in, which I'm sure there will be a little added extra. But I just get a sample of them and just send it to you like I did the last batch. Was there any gold in that last batch?
Yeah, there was some really, really fine placer gold in there, and there was a few of those little screws, and I tried to analyze it as best as I could, doing the usual heat test and everything. And honestly, I can't come to a very solid determination of to what they are, if they're natural or if they're man-made, because it looks like they could fit in both categories.
Because it's coming from like 80 feet down in the pits. So that's what's got me stumped.
Right. So they were pushed in, obviously, probably from glacial movement. But the question is it from, is it from a man-made source, or is there some type of strange anomaly in the rocks? Kind of like concretions are round balls in the rock. Everybody thinks they're from outer space, but they're not. They're natural formations. So you could, the geometry of it suggests that it could be natural in nature, because I've seen that shape before. But I need to know what the metallurgy of it is, if any.
Right. All right.
That would take a little bit more testing on my part, and I just honestly haven't had the time.
Oh, I understand.
All right.
So
I hope that answers the question.
Did it?
Oh yeah, I'll send you the other sample of what I'm getting from this pit, and maybe you could take a look at it and come up with something. I don't know, but it's got me.
I would love to, and I might even make a special video on it too, because if it's that much of an occurrence, that means something's going on, and maybe it should be brought out a little bit more and made people's attention aware of it.
Right. All right.
All right.
That's what I got.
All right. Cool. Now, Jeff, I know you had a couple little things you wanted to let us know about on closing here. If you want to tell us about that, we'll let you go. And we want to, so I know you was telling us something pre-show, so I'll let you go and tell us about it, okay?
Oh, well, Nevada Jack, you got anything before I start rattling my trap?
Nope.
No?
I'm content to listen to you.
Because I'm going to flap my gums here for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, all right. Because I didn't know if you had across the people there, because you got their attention now. It's like robbing a train. You better do your thing.
Yeah, well, I haven't got anything to say at this moment.
All right. You should have been prepared, son of boy.
Well.
All right. So, what do we got? Well, we just recently wrote a book, and we got it out there for our premium patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And the book's entitled "Where to Find Gold." Now, what I want to get out there, because I know I got a lot of premium patrons listening, is don't forget is to take a picture of your book with you, of course, in your favorite spot, preferably gold mining, and send that pic in. Okay. And what we're going to do is in January of 2019, we're going to have a contest, and we're going to grade 3 pictures, and the best picture, well, of course, we're going to have 3 prizes, and if you're a premium patron, you should know what those are. But I want you to send your pics in, because we sent out a lot of books, and I've only got a couple pictures sent back. So I want people to get involved in that. And, of course, the name of the contest is called Take Your Best Shot. So I want people to do that. Now, we're going to be coming out with a new website in December. It should be up and running in December, but if not, for sure, the first part of the new year. And it's going to be like something you've never seen before, and hopefully that is, knock on wood. And on that website, something that people have been asking for is pay dirt, and we're going to be offering pay dirt. Now this isn't just ordinary pay dirt. This is special pay dirt. And I trust me, I've gone through tons of pay dirt before just to see what they've got. But this is super gene gold. This is gold from secondary enrichment. This is something like you might see in limonite deposition. Cool. Maybe some Southwest Oregon. They have a lot of super gene gold in there. And so when you go to pan it out, it's going to be gold that is in the formation stages of it growing inside of this secondary enrichment zone of the limonite. And this is something nobody's got. And this is something that I've never seen before that anybody's offered. Mm-hmm. And we happen to have a secret mine where we're pulling this stuff out. And we're going to be offering that on our website. So that was the thing that nobody's got that I wanted to announce. And, of course, cool. We've got the tours coming out in February. We're starting up again. It'll be metal detecting this time. And it'll be in a new location. We're trying to get new locations for everyone. And I already told you about the big equipment. And also on the website, we're going to also be offering mining equipment too. And what's special about this mining equipment is this is stuff that I highly recommend and would suggest people to have. It's not just because it's part of an affiliate program or because it's the flavor of the week. No, this is stuff that I've tried myself, I really like, and I stand behind 100%. And so we're going to be offering that too. And the way that we're going to offer it, when you see the website, it's going to blow you away. So I ain't going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Uh-huh. So, and if people want to be premium patron, well, they know what they got to do. They got to go on and to the site, premium patron, and they got to make a $10 pledge or more, and they're in like Flynn. Right. And of course, anybody who's a premium knows that I respond instantly, and I'm there for you 24/7. And we got giveaways, and we got one particular mine that we dedicate to them particularly. That's Slim Pickens #1, and all the gold that comes out of there. And I've had a lot of people ask me, Jeff, what if you start finding 1 ounce, 5 ounce, or you hit the mother lode down there, or the river of gold that they talk about? And I said, yeah, you got my back on this one. Isn't that right, Nevada Jack? Right. You got my. I guarantee any piece of gold that comes out of there is going to them. I don't get none of it. So I want them to know, yeah, the 1 ounces, 5 ounces, I don't care if it's 100 ounces. If it comes out of there, it's going to them. Nice. So my way of showing my appreciation. Now, is it going to make me cry? Yeah. Is it going to make me probably kick myself? Yeah, but I've made a deal, and a deal is a deal. So, and I'm a man of my word. I made a promise years ago a couple of years ago, that whatever comes out of there is theirs. So, and if I find any of those worm people, you better believe I'm going to hack one up and send that one out too. I'm telling you, they're down there. People laugh at me, but I keep hearing something freaking me out. So.
Cool.
No, it's like whispering sounds.
Oh, they're talking behind your back.
Yeah. They're staging a coup. So. I guess so. Well, I'm going to have to arrange a meeting with the head worm guy.
The head worm?
Yeah. So if you happen to see film footage, because I'm trying to get something on film, I've already shut the lights off and used cameras to film in the dark with infrared.
You're hoping for a day glow.
And there's tons of orbs down in there, but I don't know if it's dust particles or orbs. I want to see eyes. I want to see a face.
Yeah, something. Something.
I don't know, something. I want to find out what the heck that is. Cause
you take a picture of it and I'll look at it from a distance.
I try to get Nevada Jack to come down there and turn the lights off, but he don't care for that too much. He's claustrophobic. He says that he can't stand up. He don't want to be in there.
That's right. I don't like
so I told him. I said, come on now. It's just like laying down in your bed, except you got about 1 million tons of rock over your head.
Yeah, right. And worm people, no less.
Yeah, you feel someone nibbling on your toes. You better run, boy.
No, thank you. You can't run when you're laying down.
That's about all I got.
All
I mean,
right, brother.
Like I said, every time I got something new, I release it on my Patreon site for them, and that's my way of showing my appreciation to them because I care about each and every one of them for helping me keep the dream alive. And I got some really big stuff coming up later on. I can't talk about now, but as we go forward, they're going to know about it firsthand. And I know a lot of people are upset because they say, "How come you don't, do that for the rest of the community and YouTube?" I says, "Well, because they're not helping me keep the dream alive, son of Jim. Come on now, it's common sense."
That's right. Jeff,
go into a dealership and say, "Well, I've been watching you drive that Corvette every day. Can I have one?"
Uh-huh.
No, you can't have one, but you know what? So anyway, that's about all I got. Unless Nevada Jack's got anything to add to that.
Jack,
you got any new
anything?
trains that you've been working on?
No,
I thought you went up there to Promontory Point to work on the big boy.
It's not up there yet. It's still in Cheyenne, but they will.
All right, this guy.
May 10th, I think it is.
He's involved with the big boy. Anybody out there know trains? They know what a big boy is. There's only so many that were ever made, and it's the biggest train in the world.
Oh,
big
really?
Locomotive.
Yeah, well, sorry, locomotive. Yeah, thanks for correcting me there.
Oh, it's a lot of cars, but
it's like two trains that are built together, crammed together into one. And it was so big, it was almost too big for the rails. Isn't that right?
They had to upgrade the track.
So there was only one left that was actually any good, and they towed it all the way
from California.
California, up, and they're headed up to what, Promontory Point with it?
They had to stop in Cheyenne because they needed to refurbish it.
Yeah, they had to rebuild the entire thing. So they had to. Could you imagine rebuilding a locomotive?
That'd be weird.
It's a big locomotive.
Yeah, that's a monster. I've seen that thing. Remember when we went out and saw it?
I think I got pictures of
That's it. The drivers on there are what, 80-inch, 84-inch drivers?
I think those are 69-inch, but there's 16 of them.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, like I said, Barrio knows, or Nevada Jack knows trains inside and out. He could tell you anything you want to know about that. Oh, and he could tell you about history too. And I'm not talking about the stuff in the history books. I'm talking about the stuff that you don't read in the history books.
Really? Interesting.
Yep. I'll tell you what, that comes in real handy when we're on one of these ghost towns. And he'll say, well, you know what? They say this, but the real story is this. I'm like, well, I'm glad you told me. Now I know I can go look over here, not over there.
See, Jack?
Yeah, and you thought I kept him around because he had a pretty face, huh?
That's what I thought.
No.
It's always a pleasure having you guys here with us. You know that.
It's always fun. I told you, anytime you want us here, we're here.
And you kept to your word. You've been here every time, Jeff, and we know we got you last minute and asked you, and you came through for us, and we can't thank you enough, you and Jack. Jack, thank you, buddy. We really appreciate you being here, too.
Yeah.
You sit back there quiet, but we know you're there.
Yeah, he's over there. He's pointing a gun at me.
Is he?
He's a
you from twirling.
He's a talk boy, or I'm pulling his trigger.
You like to spin those things and
what?
Don't take it out now.
Oh yeah, I haven't brought my 6-shooter in here just to get into the mood.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. I love that thing.
But Jeff, like always, if you got anything coming up that you want to let people know about, give us a call. We'll definitely get you on here so you can announce it here too. Anytime.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Anytime, buddy. You know that. So.
I appreciate that. I really do.
You got it, my friend. Jack, Jeff, thank you guys for being here again. You guys have a great day.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, our pleasure.
So, you know what I'm going to say, right?
I think so.
So come on. Let's go.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Good night.
Take care, Jack.
Good night.
Bye,
You
guys.
too.
All right. Very cool. Awesome, guys. Wow. That
was a good show.
That was a good show. Think it kind of filled it up.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the crew. You know who we are. Kathleen, Dennis, Shad. We're here.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't do our normal crew intros like we usually do. Do you guys have anything else you need to add tonight? And we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. It was a great show, so I'd like to leave it on a high note unless you got something.
Nope, we'll just see everyone on Wednesday.
Kathleen?
Oh, did we have any birthdays or prices real quick, Chad? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown.
All right.
All right, your current market prices. We have gold at $1,223. That's down $4. Silver fell 22 cents to $14.26. Platinum down $5, closing at $843. Palladium down $27 at $1,107. And of course, rhodium, that actually went up $5, closing at $2,575.
Okay. Nice. Birthdays?
Yep, we'll just do a quick rundown here for November 25th birthdays. We have David E. Peckham, Don Arment, George Yurchitson, Jeff Peters, a.k.a. Lost My Shirt Jeff, Nick Straffon, Oro Hudson, Randy Salars, Rosemary Baker, Terry John Bubak. And then tomorrow we have Brandon, Brent, Earl Webb, Eric Bush, Gold TV Casting, Keith A. Hodges, Mark Hodges, Michael Montgomery, Paula Dayton, Rob Kellikis, and Russ Lambert. So happy birthday, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Paula.
Yes, happy birthday, Paula. Awesome.
Yeah, tomorrow's her birthday,
Very cool.
and I got to figure out something.
Something?
I already gave her a birthday, but it's still I have to give her something on her birthday, so I still got to figure out something.
All right, cool. Well, let us know. Amazing. All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like Shad said, don't forget to stop by Wednesday for West Coast Wednesdays right here on Prospector Radio at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you're having issues with the site, it was just a SSL certificate expired. It's not the end of the world. We're not being hacked. It's not Russia taking over. It's nothing. It's everything's fine. You know? It's like, geez, it's all good. Trust us. They've already got it fixed. The problem is solved. Life goes on. And so thank you for your patience on that. But it is taken care of. All right. So on that note, we're going to let everybody go. We want to thank you all for being here, as always. And have a great week, everybody. We're out of here.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.